And there's a bumblebee around me, okay. I make videos about the lifestyle here, what it's like to live, what it's like to eat, the activities, what to do with your family. Woo. Okay, I think I need to probably move because there's like a big bumblebee and I don't want to get stung. There was like this big, like 2 of them right around me. And of course I'm sitting right beside a whole bunch of, and I'm allergic to bee stings. Okay, so how do I do this? Have I got an exciting video for you today? So if you are in the market for something just a little different, if you are loving the outdoors and you're just wanting to have like a little bit of a rural lifestyle and yet some excitement and a lot of fun, then this video is for you. So you're probably wondering where I am sitting and what is going on behind me. Well, let me just tell you this. If you have ever considered resort living in Kansas City, this is it. I'm telling you, it is an amazing opportunity to get into a wonderful community called Lake Lotawana. You know, Kansas City is known for a lot of things. We are so diverse in lifestyle. You know, you've got your art district, you've got downtown and just a certain vibe downtown. You've got the suburbs, you've got Overland Park, Shawnee. In fact, Overland Park is ranked, or they call it, the soccer capital of America. Then you've got Waldo and just all kinds of various vibes that are around the city. But let me just tell you, having the vibe of a lake community is something in and of itself completely different. And so if you're considering that, you might want to look at Lake Lotawana. Kansas City has everything. We've got all kinds of different communities, and let's just take a look and dig a little deeper, or dive a little deeper into Lake Lotawana, where skiing, where sailing, and all things water are a norm. If you haven't met, my name is Anita and I do videos about Kansas City. Where to eat, where to sleep, where to live, where to play, all things recreation, what to do in the wintertime, what to do in the summertime. So if you're wanting to know more about our city and all things what to do here, you've come to the right channel. I've got you covered. So now let's dive in. No pun intended there. Let's dive in to Lake Lotawana. Now, Lake Lotawana started being built in around the 1920s, late 1920s, and it was incorporated into Jackson County in 1958. Now, this community is super small, and it sits on the southeast corner of the Kansas City metropolitan area. It's a suburb of the Kansas City area, and yet it's this lifestyle like no other. You are close enough to the bigger cities, and yet you're far enough away to where you feel like you're in this own secluded area, and it's quiet and private and very, very, very cool. The population is roughly around 3,000, and according to niche.com, it's the #2 city to raise a family in all of Jackson County. And niche.com has also ranked it as one of the best places to live in an overall ranking standpoint in the whole state of Missouri. Now, if you go to niche.com, you can actually see some of the reviews. One of those reviews says, "So many amazing, unique homes. I love going on walks and chatting with neighbors. It's close to everything, yet very quiet and private. I look forward to every weekend we can spend here." Another ranking on niche.com says that it's an amazing place with strong sense of community. People take care of their homes and each other, and they know how to have fun on the lake. That in and of itself should be a reason for you to consider this community. The city also feeds into the Lee Summit School District, which is ranked really high as well. One of the things that people don't often know that's really cool is the fact that this community is built around the largest private lake in all of the Kansas City metropolitan area. It's a 600-acre lake, and it has 27 miles of shoreline all the way around it. Now, most of the lakes that are around the Kansas City area are what's called a no-wake lake. When they say no wake, that means that it's equivalent to that analogy where the boats have to travel slow enough to where there is no waves, basically. So it's like you're riding on a speed bump all the time. That is not the case with Lake Lotawana. And when I talk a little bit more about the lake, I'll tell you more. So be sure and stay to the very end. Now let's talk about the things to do at Lake Lotawana. You don't always have to be a member of the community, like a resident of it, to participate in some of these events, but most of the time you do. Well, as you know, Kansas City is amazing with its barbecue. We are known worldwide for our barbecue here. There's tons of barbecue restaurants. So wouldn't you know, Lake Lotawana would have a lot of smoke barbecue competition. I'm telling you, the best of the best come out for this. There's also a fireworks display. So can you imagine fireworks on a 600-acre lake? Then you've got fishing tournaments. Then you've got a shooting range, which is in the city of Lake Lotawana, called the Lake Lotawana Sportsman's Club. You've got Latowana Day. You've got Easter egg hunts. You've got Halloween and Christmas events. There's even several community clubs, one called Water Ski Club. There's all these things to do at a big lake community with a small town feel. And when I talk about small town feel, this is really cool, but you can hop in your golf cart and drive down to the park or take a stroll down to the lake or go to Marina 27. So let's talk about the lake. And that is the reason why you clicked on this link, right? So Lake Lotawana is the only lake in all of the Kansas City metropolitan area where you can enjoy multiple things on the lake, like sailing regattas. You can also speedboat. You can also ice boat. You can also get your pontoon boat out. You can kayak. You can canoe and water ski. You can tube. You can actually swim. Like all these things you can do. There's fish tournaments. There's so much more on this lake. I'm just going to tell you that no other lake in this area can claim all of those diverse options that they allow their lake associated members to be able to participate in, except for Lake Lotawana. Now, when we're talking about the no-wake lake, there's absolutely some fantastic lakes out there. Lakewood is one. I've done a video on that. Lake Tapawingo. There's all sorts of lakes here in the Kansas City metropolitan area that are absolutely fantastic. But one of the things that sets Lake Lotawana apart, one, is the size, and two, is the fact that you can enjoy all of these things on the lake that the other lakes can't. So for instance, the speed limit. You can go up to 40 miles an hour on this lake. And then at nighttime, when it's dusk, it reduces to 10 miles an hour. Now, once you're in the cove, that's when you have the no-wake speed limit. Now, when I say private, that means that you actually have to be a resident of Lake Lotawana or be a guest to a Lake Lotawana resident. Now, the difference between a private and a public lake is, so say for instance, if you wanted to go and kayak at a public lake, you could go there to that lake. They also have rentals. So like if you go out to Shawnee Mission Park, you can rent out one of the little paddle boats or a kayak or bring your own. You can actually do that in a public lake like Blue Springs Lake and Lee Summit Lake. Now, a private lake actually is where you have to be a resident or you have to be a guest to a resident in order to participate in some of those events there and to actually be on the lake. So therefore, there are no rentals there because you have to actually be a resident there. So they don't rent out to the general public. Now, if you are looking for a lake community, I hope I've sold you on Lake Lotawana. And let's talk about the real estate. So first of all, Lake Lotawana has a high percentage of homeowners. In fact, the last record showed that 89% of all the people who live at Lake Lotawana own their own property. Now, there are all different sizes and shapes of the homes that are in Lake Lotawana. There's so many unique styles, and they range anywhere between $180,000 to several $1,000,000 in price. At the time of this recording, the average home price was $491,000. The average size was 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, and 2 half baths. And then the average square footage was 1,881. Now, currently there are properties for sale, and you can range from size to style to price. For instance, you can get a property that's maybe potentially a 2-bedroom for $275 that sits on the lake, kind of a cabin feel, to a brand new property that are down the street that are not necessarily on the lake, but they're in a different subdivision and they're ranging around about $500,000. But you can also get some right on the cove or in the actual Lake Lotawana city proper that are right on the lake for several million. Now, when I talk about some of these other subdivisions, Lake Lotawana covers a little bit more than an 11-mile stretch, and it goes around the lake, but it also goes a little bit south of the lake, south of 50 Highway, which is near Lone Jack and like Lee Summit area. Most cities, when you go into a city and you buy into the city, the subdivisions are all various names. Lake Tapawingo is very similar to Lake Lotawana, and they're not really a subdivision. The city is actually named the subdivision. So you can go in and buy at Lake Tapawingo, but the subdivision would be Lake Tapawingo. If you go into Lake Lotawana and you want to live around the lake, then the subdivision is going to be Lake Lotawana. So when it comes to buying real estate, most of the properties are actually in the subdivision of Lake Lotawana, with the city being Lake Lotawana. That leads me to some of the fees. So when you're buying into Lake Lotawana, there is an HOA fee, and some of them range. There's about a $1,700 or a little bit more, and they can all range all the way up to about $1,964 per year for that annual HOA fee. And then if you purchase a property, there's a $1,000 HOA transfer fee that will allow you to then be a member of the HOA. Now, there's other subdivisions. They have a lower HOA. They're not right on the lake. They might be a little bit south of 50 Highway, and their properties are a little bit unique. There's Foxbury Estates and Arcadia. Both of them actually have an HOA of $630. And then there's Woodlawn Estates, which actually is a little bit less at $595. Those are just to name a few. And then obviously you've got some outer stretched subdivisions that are not even within a subdivision. They wouldn't have an HOA. Now, you know the drill. If you have found this video to be informative or you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And also too, leave your comments below. If you live in Lake Lotawana and you've enjoyed watching this video, then give me a comment there. I love to hear about what the people are saying. It also helps boost this channel. It also helps when other people are watching the videos, when they read the comments below what other people are saying. And so when you are writing the comments, it actually helps this channel, but it also helps me to understand what other areas of Kansas City I should make a video about. So if there's a video that you want to know more about in a certain area, then be sure and comment below as well. Also too, in the comment section below, you're going to find my Calendly link. So if you've got some real estate questions or you want to get on a call and we can discuss what your real estate goals are, then click on that Calendly link. It'll go right to my calendar and get you right in, and we'll have a meeting. And also too, if you are considering moving here to Kansas City, then let me help you no matter where you're at. It does not matter. In fact, I'm helping a relative of mine moving from the Chicago area all the way to the Wisconsin area, so I can help facilitate top-notch agents no matter where you're at. But if you're moving here, be sure and give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me that email, or get on my calendar. And as always, go out and live your best Kansas City life.